How's it going, guys?
Welcome to our review of Sonic the Hedgehog. If anybody's watching this as it comes out, it's been a while since we've done a movie review because COVID ruined movies. And now that things are starting to get a little normal, we're doing a bit of an older movie, but just to get back into the swing of things, and hopefully we can get a little bit more normal again.
Starting with Sonic, starting off strong.
Did we start off strong? What did you think of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's Alex's review.
This is a kind of analysis that people come here for. Okay, so why don't we start with one that I like to start off with? Graphics, special effects. What did you guys think of the presentation in the movie?
Honestly, I thought it fit the movie quite well. Like, they did a good job where normally you see a lot of distraction between real-life characters and the animated. And, I mean, it was there, but they made it so over-the-top that it was just kind of fun. You know? It was like a kid's movie.
Yeah, it was colorful and vibrant, which is very much the Sonic way, right? Because there's a lot of contrast, there's a lot of bright colors in those games. At least in the good games.
I actually can't say anything bad about it. Obviously, if they didn't redo the Sonic...
We all remember that one.
Oh, those eyes. Those nightmarish eyes.
Yeah, so like... And you know what? I think that that's a great thing to show that they were paying attention. They put out the trailers. They listened to the fan outcry that it was not looking right. And instead of just kind of barreling forward with a terrible idea... They actually made it look quite good. Like Josh said, it's tough sometimes to fuse the real world like looks with the CGI stuff.
Yeah.
But it blended very well. And I thought that beyond that, the special effects, the lightning, the speed, right? Like the few scenes where he kind of stopped time rather than went... Obviously the idea is meant that he's going so fast that time stopped. But from a visual standpoint, they really knocked it out of the park.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, even if it was over the top, it was over the top in a way that was fine. Because
Could they really do this movie without going over the top, though?
I think if they tried to do it a little bit more realistic, it would have been a bad movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they found a nice balance between the CGI and the real. And I think that, honestly, it might be the high point of the movie. Maybe some of the humor, actually, might be another high point.
Yeah.
It definitely was a lot funnier than I thought it would be.
How many times were we laughing out loud?
It was 5 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, geez, I've already laughed twice.
Yeah.
And again, as I commented, maybe it was because my expectations were fairly low, but it was fun. Like, at a very basic, rudimentary level, it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely the most important part, is that it was a fun movie that captured his attitude, because you don't want him to be all mopey and weird like how they've made him in a lot of times when they've tried to be a little more realistic in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got to give it a little bit to the actors, including the voice actor who played him, who actually gave us those feelings, you know, and portrayed that over the top.
What about the rest of the cast? James Marsden, Jim Carrey, what did you guys think of their performances?
When I saw the advertisement, like the commercial so long ago, I had such low expectations, and it didn't look like Jim Carrey was doing a great job, but he was very funny in this, and surprisingly so. It was he was kind of over the top in a way, but at the same time, a lot of his humor was actually very like backhanded and just like slipped in there.
I agree. I think there was a lot of stuff with Jim Carrey's history in like the slapstick and the rubber facing that would appeal to kids, right?
Yeah.
This is a kid's movie. But there were a lot of subtle backhanded jokes that parents, adults that are taking kids to the movies probably would have appreciated. And he really found a great way to kind of cater to both of those audiences. I think that he might have been, from a casting sense, the top star in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't think of a person that would be better suited to play that type of Robotnik, like over the top, and a Robotnik that actually like speaks and delivers commentary compared to like when you see it in the games and the cartoons. There's not as much of that.
Yeah, definitely in general, the humor in general, one thing I liked about it quite a bit is that they always kept it very fast paced. They didn't try and like slow down and focus too much on any one joke to try and make it funnier or whatever. They just kept going. And that's great for when you have jokes that sometimes just don't work, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I think Cyclops.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yep, that's his name, all right. He did a really good job of bringing a very more neutral human aspect to it. So even with the comedy that he did, it was much more toned down than what Sonic or Robotnik brought, which were very over the top.
And the thing I liked was he was also fun.
Yeah.
Like, generally, he's the character that's supposed to be the one that's the more anchor, the down-to-earth, the, okay, this is the plan, this is what we gotta do. Like, they end up being a wet blanket.
Yeah.
But he was still fun, too.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
even his scene at the beginning with the car, right? Like, you're just seeing him there, and he's playing around, and he's joking around as, like, I'm sure a cop in, like, a small town would, right? The same kind of idea. And that was funny to us. Like, we found that hilarious.
I am genuinely surprised at how good the casting was. Even the minor characters, like his assist, like the... I guess they didn't clarify if he was the deputy, but he was like the only other cop in town, so I'd imagine he would have to be.
Yeah.
But like every supporting role, even like what's his name? Neil McDonough. Who had a very minor role just to kind of get booted out of there.
Yeah.
Played it well. He played a stoic like there really wasn't a weak point in the casting.
No.
Unless I missed something. Did you?
No, I felt it was very well acted all around.
I think the weak point in the movie might have been the story.
Sure.
Which, to be honest, it is a kid's movie, and if we were to look at it kind of in that sense, not a lot of kids' movies have necessarily the greatest stories. They don't need to. They just need to be an avenue for, like, just to put together the plot points, to deliver the humor. It
was a very standard, like, easy to follow kind of homegrown type of feel, you know? Like, it was just very, very wholesome in a sense, right?
I mean, it's very, like, when you boil it down, like, somebody wants to capture Sonic to use his powers and they need to get away, right? Like, at the base of it, the story is really just the skeleton that put it all together, which is why, even though it was the low point, can't really knock it too much for it.
Because the meat around it was good.
It served its purpose of kind of moving along the story beats at a good pace.
It also kind of is just the regular Sonic the Hedgehog story. There's a magical hedgehog. There's
Whoa. Magical?
Kind of is. Magical hedgehog. There's Robotnik. Robotnik wants power.
Evil genius.
Yeah, evil genius Robotnik, and he goes for it. That's basically always been the story. They didn't try and do anything new or weird or fancy.
He was trying to... we're going to get into lore here, but I guess he was trying to always capture the woodland animals, right?
Like they obviously left that out. I didn't really see even any big hints on like the main thing, the Chaos Emeralds and all that. But the Sonic the Hedgehog story at its basic point isn't much of one. It's much like the Mario story, right?
Yeah.
It's, you're a hero, there's a bad guy, you need to save something.
Except she's in another castle.
If we're comparing the video game mascots from that generation of gaming, the Sonic movie did a much better job of the lore than the Mario movie did of the lore.
Oh, goodness gracious, yes.
You know, I gotta wonder if they're ever gonna revisit that at some point.
They honestly could. And they should, just to, like, kind of...
glaze over the 80s one.
But, I mean, Sonic also had the benefit of decades of different time before they tried to push that out.
Yeah.
And the idea that they didn't try to change it too much, right? Like, yes, he's in the real world now, or, like, our world, but he's in Green Hills, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, there is like
Little
a bit of a balance between, yes, like, we're nodding at that. There's the whole portal aspect, which opens it up that they could do a sequel going back to, like, his original planet.
Yeah.
But it was done in a way that you're not like, well, that doesn't fit the lore.
Yeah.
With Mario Brothers, you could easily say, like, this is not the lore.
The
like,
boots.
Right? Like, the whole thing about Mario is that it could not exist in any way in conjunction with any of the Mario games. Where this, you could easily see a way that you could build a canon around it because, okay, we moved to another planet. We didn't go so far out as to change this and change that.
Yeah.
That it felt a lot more like a Sonic movie to me than Mario felt like a Mario movie. Like, they could have just taken the Sonic character and made a kid's movie with Sonic, but they made a Sonic movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, because
I don't know if I explained that well, but...
Well, I guess I'm understanding what you're saying in the way I understand it is that, okay, you have Sonic as the good guy, and you have Robotnik as the evil genius. And that's essentially what we got, right?
But, like, if they were in outer space, and they were trying to save Mars from crashing into Earth, just because it's Sonic and Robotnik doesn't make it a Sonic movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure, yeah.
Sure. That does
Like,
sound
like when I think about
plot.
Mario, right? Mario should be Mario versus Bowser, but like the way they characterized Bowser was just like, what? It didn't make any sense. Where the Robotnik here felt like Robotnik.
Well, he really was. Like, he did all the same things Robotnik does. Has his robots, fights. I mean, that's all he really does.
All he really does.
It's an easy. I mean, so is the Mario one. It's an easy thing to do, and it's a hard one to screw up. It's kind of more impressive that Mario did manage to screw it up so much because really all the Sonic movie had to do was follow the very simple formula and not try and be ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty ridiculous.
It had to be Sonic ridiculous.
Yes,
right?
yes. And that's, I think maybe I should have just kept it that simple.
Yeah.
It felt like they actually made a Sonic movie, and they made a decent one too.
Yeah.
And I loved all the little nods and touches, right? Like,
The music,
like they, like very subtle, recreated, but they're using songs that you know from the game. When he picked up the ring the one time, it made that iconic ring sound.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, it really did feel like they were hitting to fans of it. But at the same time, if you didn't know Sonic, because, I mean, it's not as big of a franchise as it once was,
Yeah.
you could still watch it and enjoy it.
it's a kids movie, right? Like it is a standard kids movie that you could very easily watch with young toddlers and etc.
I don't know about toddlers, but
That's colorful.
that's why it went over my head. Would you guys want to see a sequel for it?
I actually would.
I would. Yeah, I'd watch a sequel.
I think I'm 3 for 3 on that. Like, that's like, I hate to turn this into a comparison of Mario and Sonic, but it kind of feels like they've been doing that since the 80s.
Yeah.
There was a cliffhanger ending to Mario Brothers, and I don't think anybody wanted to see another one. This movie ended in a way where you're like, yeah, I would like to revisit these characters. I would like to revisit the story, and I'd like to see where it goes from here.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. So I don't think there's too much else to talk about on this one. Be a little bit of a shorter one. Why don't we get to our final scores?
Sure.
Feels like I haven't done this in so long. So I'm going to give Josh, you go first.
Okay. I'm going to go with an 8. And I feel that the 8 is because the movie was good. There are some places that it could have been better. The storyline could have been a little bit more fleshed out, but it was what it was. And I think it's still a very enjoyable movie with an 8 being very close to the top. So, yeah, definitely watch it.
Yeah. I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. I thought it was quite good, very humorous. Obviously, there's really no depth to it. Like, it's not something that's going to change your life if you see it. You can easily skip it, too. But it's definitely something that's worth watching if you like video game movies. It is a rare, good video game movie at that. It's a good family movie. Like, good family movie, good kids movie that adults can enjoy, too. It doesn't really have anything lasting to me, but I enjoyed it.
Nobody really expected you to come out of it with some sort of life-changing epiphany, but
maybe.
It sounded like you were talking yourself up from a 7 there. I'm going to go with Josh and give it an 8. Maybe part of that is my inability to compare it to other video game movies, because this is one of the better video game movies that I can remember. Yeah. Just in the sense of staying true to like the video game you've chosen to make a movie of, it hit it out of the park in that regard. yeah, there's a couple of negatives, mostly with the storyline, which, again, what are you really expecting? But if at the end of the day I can come out of it and say, that was Sonic and that was fun, I don't see any reason not to recommend it. Like Alex said, you could skip it, but in that sense that if you wanted to watch a Sonic movie, you will get what you wanted.
Absolutely.
So that's our review of Sonic the Hedgehog. Feel free to leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. If you agree, disagree, whatever the case may be. If you thought Mario was better than the Sonic movie.
It was.
You'll probably get a lot of downvotes and we'll disagree with you. But hey, you're entitled to that opinion. Until next time, live in the real world, play in a pixel one. Hey, did you like that video? If you did, be sure to let us know by clicking the like button and leaving a comment. If you want to be first in line for any new content, be sure to subscribe to our channel and then hit up our Facebook page. The link's in the description below to see what's coming up next.